Cleveland for Christ, hashtag Cleveland Browns baptism. So it was a baptism today.
I'm playing for a lot of people and a lot of beliefs. Overall, I'm playing for those who don't have a voice.
Last week, Shedeur Sanders didn't show up to Denzel Ward's softball game. Watson didn't show up. Gabriel didn't show up. The organization told all three quarterbacks to stay home, and the media ran headlines about Shedeur specifically. This week, on mandatory minicamp media day, Shedeur Sanders walked into Berea Municipal Pool. Not a press conference, not a media obligation, a baptism. Carson Schwezinger, the NFL's 2024 Defensive Rookie of the Year, getting baptized. Raheem Sanders, Shedeur's own brother, getting baptized. And the quarterback facing the most important week of his career, according to ESPN, stood there in support of his brothers in the locker room. No cameras required, no media request, no organizational directive, just Shedeur. And the most incredible faith moment in Cleveland Browns history. Here's every word. Here is the full Cleveland for Christ event that makes this the most incredible faith moment in Cleveland Browns history, and why Shedeur's presence was the organizational statement that no press conference could have made. The event was organized by Metro Cleveland FCA, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and held at the Berea Municipal Pool outside the Browns practice facility on the same day as mandatory minicamp media availability. The event included worship music, testimonies, prayer, and public baptisms, led by Browns team chaplain Nobles Darby, alongside safety Daniel Thomas and cornerback Tyson Campbell, and confirmed attendees, Mason Graham, the second-round defensive tackle, Tyson Campbell, the starting cornerback, Raheem Sanders, the running back who was also Shedeur's brother, and Shedeur Sanders. Carson Schwezinger, the 2024 NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year, got baptized at Berea Municipal Pool, outside the Cleveland Browns practice facility, on mandatory minicamp media day, while Shedeur was there in the crowd, supporting him. The same week, ESPN called it the biggest week of Shedeur's NFL career. He showed up for the baptism, not for the cameras. And here is the absence that makes Shedeur's attendance the most pointed possible organizational statement. Watson was not at the baptism. Gabriel was not at the baptism. No other quarterback attended, just Shedeur. The liquidator panel identified it immediately. Judging from this photo, it looked like Shedeur might have been the only quarterback that actually went to this event, which is shocking. Shocking because the baptism wasn't an optional extra. It was a community moment with the Browns' own players, Carson Schwezinger and others, committing their faith publicly. And the only quarterback who showed up was the one the national media was calling on notice for the biggest week of his NFL career. Biggest week of his career. Final chance, according to ESPN. And on media day, while the football conversation was consuming every Cleveland outlet, Shedeur walked to Berea Municipal Pool for a baptism. That is not a PR stunt. That is the operating priority of a human being when the football world is trying to define him entirely by a QB tracker.
This is another one that he did. Today. And let's take a look at this Christ-led event here. Whoa, I went way too far. My bad, y'all. So this was the event today. Looked like this football team was going together in Christ. Shedeur Sanders was a part of this event. You guys can see here, there goes Shedeur back there. Everybody didn't go, which teaches on, everybody's entitled to their own spiritual beliefs. But Shedeur Sanders definitely made way to go to this event. Now, a lot of these photos here came from Instagram. I'm going to pull up their Instagram page where this information came from via the Browns. Stated here, Cleveland for Christ, hashtag Cleveland Browns baptism. So it was a baptism today. Wow. So these are some of the photos here. You guys can see there several players got baptized. There goes Shedeur there, in support of his brothers in the locker room. This was a dope event, man. I love seeing stuff like this. Positive news story, bruh. Very, very positive. So we did hear yesterday that he didn't go to the Denzel Ward thing, but he did make way to go to this. Now, judging from this photo, it looked like Shedeur might have been the only quarterback that actually went to this event, which is shocking, you know what I'm saying?
The only quarterback at the baptism, on the biggest week of his career, the day after the media ran Shedeur no-show headlines.
Now here's the Shedeur minicamp quote that connects the faith moment to the most powerful self-declaration any Cleveland Browns quarterback has made since the franchise returned in 1999. Here is the Shedeur Sanders minicamp quote that places the faith moment in the full context of what he is playing for, and why it explains the baptism attendance better than any media narrative. At mandatory minicamp media availability, Shedeur was asked about the quarterback competition and what keeps him motivated. He said, "I'm here to change that. I'm here to give them what they want. They just want something to hope for, and they've been wanting it so long. I'm playing for a lot of people and a lot of beliefs, overall. I'm playing for those who don't have a voice. The external motivation I have is crazy. I channel that to make sure it's always going to be motivation. Regardless of how I'm feeling, regardless of anything, I know a lot of people count on me to succeed. So I just gotta make sure I stay positive and stay everything throughout whatever's going on. Because truly, it doesn't matter, because you have a lot of people that believe in you." Playing for those who don't have a voice. That sentence is everything. The 5th round pick who had no voice in the draft process. The Browns fans who have watched their franchise cycle through more quarterbacks than any other team in the NFL since 1999. The HBCU community that watched Shedeur build his career at Jackson State. The Colorado community that watched number 2 get retired while the rest of college football dismissed the program. Playing for those who don't have a voice, and then walking into a baptism on media day to support the teammates who are building something together in Berea. And here is the Cleveland quarterback history context that makes "I'm here to change that" the most significant public statement any Browns quarterback has made in a generation. Gridiron Heroics confirmed, Cleveland has not had a Pro Bowl quarterback since Derek Anderson in 2007. The franchise has cycled through more quarterbacks than any other team in the NFL over the past 2 decades. Derek Anderson, 2007, 19 years. Every quarterback since then, Brady Quinn, Colt McCoy, Brandon Weeden, Johnny Manziel, Josh McCown, Robert Griffin III, Deshaun Kaiser, Baker Mayfield, Case Keenum, Nick Mullins, Kyle Allen, Jacoby Brissett, Joe Flacco, PJ Walker, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, Deshaun Watson, Joe Flacco again, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and now Shedeur Sanders, who said, "I'm here to change that." 19 years since a Pro Bowl quarterback wore a Browns uniform, and the player who just said, "I'm here to change that," showed up to a baptism on the biggest week of his career to support the Defensive Rookie of the Year and his own brother making public faith commitments. That is the character of the person who just made that declaration. Not one declaration of motivation, but 2 on the same day. One at the podium, one at Berea Municipal Pool.
They've been wanting it for so long, so finally, I'm here to change that. I'm here to, actually get what they want. Really, I feel and a lot of beliefs. Overall, it's a lot of people that have. I'm playing for a lot of people and a lot of beliefs. Overall, I'm playing for those who don't have a voice. So the external motivation, I have is crazy, and I channel that, to make sure it's always gonna be motivation. So regardless of how I'm feeling, regardless of anything, I know it's a lot of people count on me to succeed. So I just gotta make sure, I stay positive and stay everything throughout whatever's going on, because it truly don't matter, because you got a lot of people that believe in you. There's a lot of 12 jerseys out here still, and it's amazing. Like, for me overall, I'm just thankful for it, and sometimes, I don't understand the magnitude of things because I'm such in a bubble. So yeah, I'm just thankful that, it's a lot of people that have support.
Humble guy, man. Shedeur Sanders.
I don't understand the magnitude of things because I'm in such a bubble. A player who generated $17.7 million in NFLPA licensing, beat Tom Brady's all-time record, beat Patrick Mahomes, and described himself as being in a bubble, not understanding the magnitude. That is either the most authentic humility in the NFL or the most emotionally grounded competitor in Berea. Now here's why the Raheem Sanders baptism is the faith moment that makes this personal as well as professional. Here is the Raheem Sanders baptism detail that makes the Cleveland for Christ event not just a team moment, but a family moment that the cameras captured without Shedeur knowing they were looking. Raheem Sanders, the Cleveland Browns running back, is also Shedeur's brother, both sons of Deion Sanders. Raheem chose to get baptized publicly at the Berea Municipal Pool on mandatory minicamp media day, and Shedeur was there, supporting his brother. In a moment where the entire football world was publishing stories about the biggest week of his career and final chance to win the starting job, his brother was making a public spiritual commitment, and Shedeur Sanders chose to be there. The media covered, Shedeur no-show at softball game. The Truth covered, Shedeur showed up for his brother's baptism on the same day the no-show stories were still circulating. While the no-show at Ward's event was an organizational directive, the baptism attendance was personal conviction. That is the character distinction between the two absences and presences that the media ran side by side without understanding what they were comparing. And here is the Carson Schwezinger detail that makes this the most incredible faith moment in Cleveland Browns history, specifically because of who got baptized. Schwezinger, the 2024 Defensive Rookie of the Year, was publicly baptized at the Berea Municipal Pool, a first-round defensive player who won the league's top defensive rookie honor, publicly committing his faith at his team's off-season facility. Relevant magazine ran it, Outkick ran it, Fox News ran it, and the player who was there in the crowd, supporting Schwezinger and his own brother, was also the player ESPN called on notice for the most important 3 days of his NFL career. The faith moment happened in the middle of the biggest football story in Cleveland, and Shedeur was present for both. Here is what makes this the most incredible faith moment in Cleveland Browns history, not because of who got baptized, because of who showed up. The player under the most professional pressure of his career, in the most scrutinized QB competition of the 2026 NFL offseason, chose to walk to the Berea Municipal Pool on mandatory minicamp media day, for his brother, for the Defensive Rookie of the Year, for his teammates in the locker room, and then walked to the podium and said, "I'm playing for those who don't have a voice." Both things on the same day. That is Shedeur Sanders shutting down the narrative with character. Here is the complete incredible faith moment picture. Monday, June 9th, 2026, mandatory minicamp media day, Cleveland for Christ event, Berea Municipal Pool. Carson Schwezinger, 2024 NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year, publicly baptized. Raheem Sanders, running back, Shedeur's brother, publicly baptized. Mason Graham in attendance. Tyson Campbell helping lead the event. Shedeur Sanders, the only quarterback present, there in support of his brothers. The previous day, Shedeur no-show at softball game, headlines circulated nationally, while the organization had all QBs on media blackout. And on media day, Shedeur, "I'm playing for those who don't have a voice. I'm here to change that. I don't understand the magnitude of things because I'm in a bubble."
Then walked to Berea Municipal Pool for his brother's baptism. Cleveland hasn't had a Pro Bowl quarterback in 19 years. The player who said, "I'm here to change that," showed up for the moment when nobody required him to be there. Watson wasn't there. Gabriel wasn't there. Only Shedeur, on the biggest week of his career, at a baptism for his brother and the Defensive Rookie of the Year. That is the character the coaching staff is evaluating when the cameras are off. Shedeur Sanders just led the most incredible faith moment in Cleveland Browns history, not by speaking, by showing up. Carson Schwezinger, the Defensive Rookie of the Year, got baptized. Raheem Sanders, Shedeur's brother, got baptized. Mason Graham was there. Tyson Campbell helped lead it. And the only quarterback in the building who walked to Berea Municipal Pool on mandatory minicamp media day was the same quarterback ESPN called on notice for the biggest week of his NFL career. While Shedeur no-show headlines from the softball game were still circulating, Shedeur was at his brother's baptism, then walked to the podium and said, "I'm here to change that. I'm playing for those who don't have a voice." Cleveland hasn't had a Pro Bowl quarterback since 2007. The player who just made that declaration showed up when nobody required him to be there. Drop a comment. Does Shedeur's faith moment confirm he's the leader this Cleveland Browns locker room has been waiting 19 years for?